Hello, I'm Jalen Brooks. Today on GC360, Georgia College students look back on the just ended midterm elections and talk about some of the
Election day's
difficulties
infamous long lines are no
they
longer
faced
reserved for the polls.
in
Many
getting
of
to
Georgia
polls.
College's
Georgia
students
College's
endured
Pride
rush hour
Alliance sold out
traffic
its
to get.
semi-annual drag show. We have the highlights. And we'll take a look at the Dia de los Muertos celebration. All this and more coming up today on GC360. Hello and welcome to GC360, where news comes full circle. We'd like to take a moment to talk about the recent tragedy at the University of Virginia. This past Sunday, 3 UVA players, Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry, were killed by one of their schoolmates, Christopher Jones Jr., while returning from a field trip. Jones, a former member of the football team, was denied bond when he faced a judge earlier this week. The motive for the killings is unknown. Our hearts go out to the families of the victims and the entire UVA community. The midterm elections have come and gone, or have they? Not quite. Here in Georgia, there's still the runoff scheduled for December 6th. This will determine if Raphael Warnock or Herschel Walker gets to represent our state in the U.S. Senate. So, here's a question. Did you just vote in the ended elections? If not, what stopped you? GC360's Kale Strickland went searching for the answers.
Election day's infamous long lines are no longer reserved for the polls. Many of Georgia College's students endured rush hour traffic to get to the ballot box on time. The occasion? A hotly contested midterm election, and one which will determine which party controls Congress for the rest of President Biden's term. Yet the day's classes prevented some students from getting out to the polls, including senior mass communication major Haley Marshall.
I live in Atlanta, so it would have just been like a 2-hour drive. But I was gonna go home, but I was like, I really can't because I have class today, and it just would have been hard to do.
Students who are registered to vote in Baldwin County were able to cast a ballot at multiple locations near campus, including the local fire station and the Baldwin County government office. But students who are registered to vote in other counties were forced to either vote via an absentee ballot or make the trip back home. Junior marketing major Emily Brown was planning on voting, but she lost track of time. She believes if she did not have class on election day, she would have been able to get out to the polls.
I feel like when I have class on a day like that, then all I'm thinking about is what I have to do for that class. And I honestly didn't know the actual day for midterm elections, and I've just been hearing about it, and then people have been asking like, oh, have you voted? And I was focused on my school and like work that I have to do, so I feel like it took away from that.
Junior Management Information Systems major Joseph Jackson was able to make it back home on election day. However, he understands his peers' struggles and believes election day should be a school holiday.
Voting is important. Everyone should vote. And by having school, it hinders some people from voting because they have to go back home and vote. Yeah.
This is Kale Strickland reporting for GC360.
Ceremonies in observance of Veterans Day were held around the country recently. Georgia College hosted its program in honor of veterans on Monday. GC360's Gracie Howard was there.
On the campus of Georgia College and State University, veterans and active duty members of the U.S. military are highly valued by students, faculty, and alumni alike, and were honored at a Veterans Day ceremony on Monday of this week. Attorney and veteran Mark Deller, now a mediator with his own law firm, gave the keynote address. Deller spoke about serious issues that veterans in the United States deal with, including how veterans can sometimes feel discarded by society after returning from service.
Those of us who had served were treated almost as if our time in the service was insignificant. But to me, that was unfair because we were ready, willing, able, trained to go anywhere in the world that our leadership told us we were going on a moment's notice. Thankfully, in my case, because it did happen.
According to a January 2022 report by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, there were approximately 33,000 homeless veterans in the United States, a large number of which also struggle with mental illnesses such as depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. Air Force veteran John Johnson also spoke of his personal experience as a former member of the military, as well as the emotions he faces on Veterans Day.
It's kind of a hard day for me because suddenly everybody's thanking me for my service. And, for those of us receiving that thanks, at least for me, it's kind of hard. What do you say to somebody? And I saw the perfect response just the other day, and that is thank you for being someone worth serving for.
In the future, Georgia College and State University will continue to honor its active and veteran members of the U.S. military, with the Veterans Day ceremony only being the most recent example of the university's appreciation. For GC360, this is Gracie Howard.
There are some changes coming to one of the world's biggest social media platforms. Billionaire Elon Musk finalized his purchase of Twitter recently and announced some new measures that affect users of the platform. One of them is a paid service, and that has sparked a controversy. Our Keller is following the story.
Twitter is a commonly used social media platform among students here at Georgia College. With Elon Musk now having full ownership of the platform, he is implementing new policies, such as paid verification, that have some people on edge.
I saw a Twitter account that was paid for the verification, and they copied a company's name and posted something acting like the company, and everyone thought it was real. But it was just some account who paid for the verification. So it kind of can cause confusion.
Paid verification does not apply to just companies. Individual users also have to pay to have their verification, regardless of whether they had it before the Musk takeover.
I think it's kind of ridiculous a little bit, just because they've already gotten their verification due to their fame and stardom before Elon Musk took over, and now that he's there, they had to pay I don't know, what was it, $10 a month or something very small for just to keep a blue check by their name, which I think is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. If I was a celebrity and I was verified and I had to pay $10 a month or whatever, I wouldn't do it, but that's just my take.
Some students say the new policy may cause many to reconsider even using the platform.
I don't think people care enough about Twitter or use Twitter enough for that to be successful. And there's always going to be another app out there, another social media app that someone creates to replace Twitter. So I just don't think it's smart and don't think it's going to work out for him.
Another noteworthy detail about the Musk takeover was his emphasis on free speech on the platform, stating that he would bring back those banned from Twitter before his takeover.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, it's like a social media platform. I feel like it should be loosely regulated, free speech, but to an extent, because there's still children and stuff on there that are going to see a lot of the stuff. So maybe a little looser regulation on the free speech. I think it's a good idea, because why not have free speech? We're supposed to.
This is Keller with GC360.
It's the Day of the Dead. That sounds spooky, right? We'll tell you all about it after the break. A brand new LB and Bella, Thanksgiving edition. Stay with us.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 68 children is diagnosed with autism. That's about a 30% increase in 2 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Welcome back. This is GC360, where news comes full circle. The end of the semester is fast approaching. With that comes various activities, some to mark the semester of hard work and achievements. One such event was held for art majors recently to showcase their capstone projects. Grace Wood was there for GC360.
Senior capstone students celebrated with friends and family in Ennis Hall after completing their final art pieces. 4 students spent 2 grueling semesters working on their art. Madison Begard,
I personally hope that my art inspires everyone to consciously consider how waste that we produce accumulates in our daily lives.
Leslie Calvert,
I also have to thank the people who let me use their stories within my work.
Molly Houlette,
So the meaning of my art, I'm a very big people person. I love to know people, getting to know people, and if you read my artist statement, it kind of reflects on who I am as a person.
and last but not least, Megan Morale.
Each plate probably about a good 2 hours per plate.
These students wanted to encourage their audiences to look inward within themselves.
So I recently took an environmental science class, and it opened my eyes to all these crazy statistics and realities that I was not aware of in the past.
Art professors were able to work with these students and watch them grow over the semester.
There's certain expectations that I have with all of my students, and even though I was coming in midway with Madison, I really thought that she was able to pick herself up and bring herself up to not what I was expecting, but what she was expecting, which is what I aim for any student.
Fellow art majors also came out to support their friends' completed projects.
Well, because I'll be doing this next semester, it lets me see how the layouts are going to work and how everyone's turns out in the end through the whole process and how it all looks on the walls, stuff like that.
This exhibit displays a variety of different mediums: photography, printmaking, ceramics, mixed media, sculptures, and graphic design. The art show will be open to the public at Leland Art Gallery in Ennis Hall until November 22nd. Grace Wood reporting for GC360.
Have you heard of the Day of the Dead? Trust me, it exists. So, what is this all about? GC360's Lily Murphy explains.
November 1st was just a few weeks ago, and with its passing came Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead.
Dia de los Muertos is an indigenous tradition from Mexico, and for me it sort of stands up against colonialism because that tradition sort of died down during colonial times, mainly because Christianity, and we were only allowed to worship God. Now in modern times, actually, that tradition has gained back popularity, especially seen in movies like Coco from Disney.
In celebration of the holiday, the Latino Student Association, or LSA, held an event.
We had our Dia de los Muertos altar building, and so what that is we encourage our members or any other students that would like to participate to come and build the altar, which is in Spanish, the ofrenda, where we celebrate the lives of those who have passed away. Many people think that the ofrenda is put up to grieve, but it's not. It's a celebration of life. So what we do is we hang up pictures of our loved ones that passed away. We decorate it with flowers. The traditional flower is La Flor de Cempasúchil, and we put a lot of items that our loved ones loved. So if whatever it is that they liked, we tend to put that on the ofrenda just as a way of like honoring their lives when they were here. Yeah, so some of our students oftentimes put pictures of their dogs and of their loved ones. Actually, my grandmother is on there, as well as one of my friends that passed away about a year ago. We just put decorations, and we have apples and pan dulce, so just a little bit of things to remember our loved ones by.
In addition to the construction of the ofrenda, students had the choice to add their handprint to a painting that will now be featured at the hub.
So that's just really a memento for the past and present members of the Latino Students Association to make their mark on the Cultural Center at Georgia College. Basically, they just stamped their hand in the color that they preferred and waited for it to dry down, and then wrote their name and graduation year. It's just really just like a memento to kind of keep for the hub.
The event provided a safe space for people to remember past loved ones while making new memories with friends. I'm Lily Murphy, reporting for GC360.
Smile! This is so cute!
GC360's Owen Mcdaniel is here to fill us in on sports this week. Take it away, Owen.
Thanks, Jalen. Both the Bobcat men's and women's basketball teams are off to hot starts this season. The men's team, ranked 5th in the D2 SIDA Southeast poll, currently sits at 2-1, with wins against North Greenville University and Limestone University, and a narrow loss to Tuskegee University. The women's team improved to 3-0 after a victory against Limestone University in overtime on Wednesday. Senior guard Harper Vick is this week's Bobcat Athlete of the Week after averaging 14.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 2.5 assists in the first 2 games. Both the men and women play against Emmanuel College on Saturday. The men's and women's cross-country teams will be traveling to Charlotte, North Carolina this weekend to compete in the NCAA Southeast Regional Championship. Good luck to them as they wrap up what has been an excellent first season under head coach John Martin. That's all for sports this week. Jalen, back to you.
Now, let's have a look at the weather for this week. Grace Wood is here with that. What's the forecast, Grace?
Today we'll have plenty of sunshine and clear skies. Winds can range from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Temperatures will be in the low 50s before cooling down to the high 20s. Tomorrow will also be a sunny day with a high of 58. Winds are expected to vary, but nothing too strong. There's some cold nights ahead of us. Friday evening, temperatures will reach to the low 30s with a few clouds. Saturday will start off sunny, then become overcast over time. Temperatures will be in the low 60s and high 50s before dropping to the high 30s. Sunday will continue to be cloudy with 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. There will be a high of 54, and in the evening, temperatures will remain in the low 30s. Thanksgiving week will be a bit of a gloomy week. It will be mostly cloudy with a few rainy days. Jalen, back to you.
Thanks, Grace. Still ahead, put on your dancing shoes and get ready. We'll take you to the drag show.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism.
My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 68 children is diagnosed with autism. That's about a 30% increase in 2 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
You are watching GC 360, where news comes full circle. Georgia College's Pride Alliance hosted a drag show recently. It turned out to be a huge success, a sold-out event. Our Emily Smith was there. Emily, I gather it was a fun night?
It was definitely a fun night, Jalen. There was a lot of people came out, over 200, and it was just overall a really good and safe night.
All right, so when is the next one? And do you know which performers are coming on?
Now, I don't know which performers are coming on. I don't think they've decided that yet that I know of. But I know that they do host one every semester. And I would say that everybody, if you have the opportunity to go, you should. It was super fun. And let's show them how fun the night was. Georgia College's Pride Alliance hosted its biannual drag show. Pride's mission is to serve the LGBTQ+ community at Georgia College and the local community. This is the biggest event the Pride Alliance hosts. They worked hard all semester to make sure that this is a fun and safe event. All 200 tickets were sold, and all of the profits for the show go to a travel fund that will allow students to go to a panel called Make Change in San Francisco. Students will learn how to make change and spread positivity for the LGBTQ+ community. At the drag show, 3 students were given the opportunity to show off their talents by participating in drag. Emily Schulte also performed as Dominatrix, a drag king, and here's why she does it.
Because going into this in the auditions, I'm not a dancer. I've never performed a dance, let alone in front of a crowd. And so doing this audition and then realizing I got in, it helped me gain a lot of confidence and realizing like I can be who I am. People accept me for who I am. It's a lot of fun.
Axel Hawkins also performed, but why does she do it?
To make a little bit extra money, have a little bit of fun. I've been really stressed out with stuff pertaining to the election recently, and this has been a good way to just kind of decompress a little bit and finally have a little bit of fun, I guess.
Lastly, Caleb Rogers, also known as Tina, gave it her all on the stage. And here's why she's passionate.
Dressing up is pretty much my favorite part, and I'm a big makeup geek, so I like doing really big dramatic makeup, so it's awesome to do that. And I'm really glad I get to perform in front of an audience again. It's been a while.
The Tribe Macon, a professional group of drag queens, sent 3 of their members to come show Milledgeville a good time. Overall, the students here at Georgia College enjoyed a fun and safe night while supporting the LGBTQ+ community. From GC 360, Emily Smith reports.
Do you have any personal highlights from the drag show?
One of my favorite moments is just like interacting with the queens, because there's this one time where like one of them came up to me and like we had this little moment, and I think that that's probably one of the funnest things is to be in that environment and like surrounded by people who love and support you. So thank you for asking.
You're welcome. We introduced a new segment last week, LB and Bella. It seems like all of you loved it so much. So we have another installment for you this week.
Hi, I'm Isabella Vanderland Day.
And I'm Laura Beth Nix.
And this is LB and Bella Talk to the Bobcats, Thanksgiving edition. We're on the move. What is the worst Thanksgiving food?
Collard greens.
Collard greens. What's the best one?
Dressing.
Okay, the best is definitely the turkey, and the worst is...
There's so many to choose from.
I would have to say cranberry sauce.
I'm actually not a big stuffing person.
That's wrong.
And my grandmother makes the best sweet potato dumplings.
Dumplings. Huh. Interesting.
Best turkey, worst anything green.
The worst, I would say the cranberry stuff. What is that called? Whatever that jello is, I hate that. The best though, I would say stuffing.
What's the cranberry stuff?
Cranberry sauce?
Yeah, not a fan of that. And I love stuffing.
I think the best is probably turkey and gravy, and the worst is like dry cornbread.
I love cornbread.
Cornbread, amazing. Dry cornbread, disgusting.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah, sweet potato casserole.
I love sweet
is the
potato
best.
casserole.
Yeah, best. Worst? Well, that like canned cranberry stuff.
Yeah,
Yes,
nobody likes that.
That's what everyone says.
Always brings around.
Why do people still make it?
Yeah,
Nobody
why?
eats it. Nobody likes it. It just looks pretty.
It's your second
Mary
time.
Beckham is back. She's back for
so
the
good to
second
be back.
episode. Okay, Mary. She's the star now. She's the star.
Hot take, not a lot of people have this for Thanksgiving, deviled eggs.
I
said.
love deviled eggs.
I said what I said. Worst? Like stuffing, no one eats that.
Also, would you rather always smell like gravy or always smell like turkey?
Turkey.
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 Turkey. Turkey. Answer question?
I'd love to.
Would you The dogs are out.
Oh no.
I gotta say turkey.
Turkey.
I'd say turkey.
Turkey?
Turkey.
Turkey.
I think I would say turkey also.
Okay.
I'm gonna say turkey.
Neither.
That's a cop out. I would rather smell like neither.
Neither.
Turkey.
There you go.
Gravy.
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 Oh.
Gravy.
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 I feel like gravy. It's safer. I don't know if I want to smell like meat.
You know what? I guess you can't walk right through it anymore anyway, so no bad luck.
Yeah, wow.
But that really sucks for the people who are like about to graduate and we're gonna take senior pictures.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And scene.
Cut.
That's it for this week.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Wow. Now we look forward to that next week. That's all for GC360 this week. I'm Jalen Brooks. When we're not on the air, we keep you up to date on our social media pages. Facebook.com/GC360, @GC360News on Twitter and Instagram, and on our YouTube page, YouTube.com/GC360News. You can also find more news from your campus student media groups at bobcatmultimedia.com. Always available to you, GC360, where news comes full circle.